Alright. Let's try this again. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. This is the original Knights of the Old Republic video game. Again, I'm playing this on Steam here. This largely exists to... This is one of those games. It's a very, very old game. It was made by BioWare back in the days when BioWare was actually a good company and was ran by people that actually really cared about games. I apologize for my immediate fuck-up there. I realized I needed to totally change the title of the stream and whatnot. Oh, the music's back! Okay, so it must have just been some kind of audio glitch that killed the music. We're gonna go ahead and click New Game. The game gives you 6 different templates of character to choose from. For anybody who didn't watch the 2 minutes of screw-up, I'll not be uploading my screw-ups to YouTube. Basically, the only difference between these 6 templates is, hi, here's your background, and here's your gender. The 3 on the right are females of Soldier, Scout, and Scoundrel. The 3 on the left are male for the same thing. Revan was canonically male, and we're going to try and actually play these 2 games as close to canon as I can. But the whole point of this game is to try and show you guys as many different options as possible. So I may just do a dark side playthrough later, just to show that off. For right now, I think I'm going to take the Scout class. So what a quick character is going to do is it's basically going to give us a quick character template in terms of stats and whatnot to what's going on here. For anybody who is familiar with BioWare's much older stuff, they did release Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 Enhanced Edition all the way back, I think it was just a few years ago on the PlayStation 5 in a combo package. This game and its sequel play very heavily to that, in that there are a lot of old school Dungeons and Dragons mechanics built into it. I say that, and this whole conversation is probably starting to make sense when you see dexterity, strength, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, fortitude, reflexes, will. Alright, so next we gotta do attributes. Attributes is where this game starts getting a little bit complicated. But if you know your D&D, you'll have a pretty rough idea of how to do this. Strength. Strength measures physical power. High strength adds modifiers to melee, hit damage, and chance to hit, which is important for characters that use close combat weapons such as vibroblades and lightsabers. Dexterity measures agility and reflexes. High dexterity adds modifiers to ranged attack rolls like blasters and grenades, and increases your defense rating, making you harder to hit. So even if you don't want to be a ranged character, you will need a little bit of dexterity for some protection. Constitution represents health and resiliency. A high constitution adds modifiers to vitality points gained at each level up. This is important for everyone, but especially essential for soldiers and Jedi Guardians. The reason why it says soldiers and Jedi Guardians is because these are the soldiers of the front line when it comes to non-force sensitives and force sensitives. So whichever one of these violence-heavy playstyles you will pick, they probably want a lot more HP than characters that will be firing blasters, hurling bombs, and using force powers from the back. Intelligence represents knowledge and reasoning. High intelligence adds modifiers to the number of points a character has to spend on essential skills. So intelligence is actually kind of important no matter who you are, but it's least important on a character built almost exclusively for combat. This is something you will want to consider. I honestly recommend making this high with virtually every character you can. Largely because it's very easy for your character to die or have their skills fall way behind if they don't have high intellect. Wisdom represents willpower and perception. A high wisdom stat adds modifiers to Jedi Force points and Force power saving throws. The Force powers of a Jedi with high wisdom are also much harder to resist. So wisdom basically kind of shows you that Jedi tend to operate like clerics when it comes to where their casting stat is. They're wisdom casters in this game. And you need high wisdom to actually be able to really take advantage of your Force powers in this game. So really consider carefully the Force powers you use when you are messing with them. And really consider when you're making your build, are you really going to rely a lot on Force powers, or even how much wisdom do you want to give yourself at least moderate chance to resist Force powers being used against you? Because Force sensitives are a lot of the most powerful and dangerous enemies in this game. And you will want some wisdom just to be able to compensate. Charisma. Charisma represents personality and the ability to lead. High charisma adds modifiers to Force-related feats and powers that are very important to all Jedi classes. It is also central to any persuasive talker. So, charisma further adds on to modifiers of your Force powers. So wisdom gives you the ability to resist saving Force power attacks, makes yours have a higher spell DC in order to save, and they also increase your Force points per level. Charisma helps add strong modifiers to your offensive Force powers. So you need charisma for damaging powers, and you need wisdom for powers that are oriented almost exclusively around clapping somebody with things like stun and stasis. Next, we got to select our skills. This is a very balanced palette, by the way. You probably don't want to go with a palette like this if you're new to the game. In fact, I would actually argue that the palette that I chose is a little too balanced. You kind of need an offensive stat. Yeah, balancing Constitution and Dexterity is pretty good for what I want to do. You kind of need a little bit of everything the way this game is designed, though, and I'm going to be doing a Sentinel build. Now, you'll notice point cost, skills, computer use, related attribute, intelligence. Computer use allows a character to slice through computer programs using disposable logic rams called spikes. Specifically, they're called computer spikes. Characters might disable gun turrets or flood patrol areas with more complicated tasks requiring more spikes. High rank in this skill reduces the number of spikes required by 1 to a minimum 1 for every 4 points total, including attribute score modifiers. So basically, if you want to be a really good hacker, you need this. You need a lot of this. Demolitions. This might be obvious, but I'm going to go ahead and run through each and every one of them anyway, so everybody has a good idea of what you want to do. But the way computer use works is security systems that the enemy uses. You can shut those down. Or you can do something even funnier. You can reprogram them to explode and maybe even injure enemies that are near them. Or you might also be allowed to reprogram them to attack the security that is not organic, or that is not synthetic, rather. So you can make security turrets attack security personnel. This will weaken both groups and allow you to take them out with ease. You can also use this to gas rooms that have enemies, overload various electrical outlets and cause them to blow up and kill people. You can, taking out enemies. You can use this to hack enemy droids. You can also use this when combined with things like repair and security to have strong upgrades for droids that are damaged, and you can boot back up and then reprogram, improving weapons, armor, and other stuff, and we'll get to that in a bit. But this is one of the most important skills for you throughout the game. You always want a partner that has access to computer use. If you don't have one that has high computer use, you have a problem. So demolitions can be used to set, recover, or disarm mines. Such devices either of low DC 15 to set, medium DC 20 to set, or high difficulty DC 25 to set. Attempting to disarm a mine adds +5 to the DC. Attempting to recover the mine adds +10. This cannot be used untrained. So, what this skill is all about, and it actually does a little bit more than it's telling you. It's not actually telling you everything that this does. It's just telling you the most important thing you need to know about demolitions. And that is, if you don't have a character with high demolition skill, you have to turn off the mines with your face by walking into them and blowing them up on your face. If you do have somebody with high demolitions, you can have them disable these mines and possibly, if they have a high enough demolition skill, even recover those mines. So you really, really need this for getting rid of minefields. And I'll go ahead and say it now. There's a few levels where there are quite a number of minefields, and you will definitely want somebody for high demolitions. Now, what demolitions also does that the game is not telling you is it also improves the damage that these explosives will give when used by a character. If you're slinging grenades and you're doing it with a character that has low demolitions, they won't do much damage. If you're slinging grenades with a character that has high demolitions, though, it will do a lot of damage. It will actually add more. It adds a cumulative effect to the damage of the explosives you are using. So demolitions is very critical if you intend to make use of grenades, bombs, and mines. Stealth. Dexterity. Stealth governs the use of camouflage devices to enter stealth mode. If a character equips a device and activates stealth mode, opponents must make awareness checks versus your stealth skill or be unable to detect them, even if the character is in direct line of sight. A character in stealth mode can set, disable, and recover mines, use computers and repair droids, and open doors or containers. Party members will not automatically enter combat while in this mode. Combat will cancel stealth mode, and stealth mode will not work without a camouflage unit. Units of higher quality grant a bonus to the skill. This is something that's very rarely shown off in the Star Wars films. It's not really well shown off in the animated series most of the time either, but there are a few instances where cloaking is used. Anybody who's played Halo, the Sangheili species known as the Elites, they use a lot of cloaking devices, and it kind of makes air warp when they move. That's called optical camouflage, and this stat is governed by dexterity. You'll notice the point cost is higher on stealth than it is on things like computer use and demolitions. That is because this character does not have a very high dexterity rating. To reduce the point cost, I'd have to go back and input more points into dexterity to reduce the point cost. I could then have a higher cap per level of what this stat will ask for. Now, in terms of stealth, I have never actually really played with stealth in any of my playthroughs. It's something that I just haven't considered. There are some levels that definitely do benefit from you maybe having the option, I would think. But most of them don't really require it. So it's not what I would consider the most important facet. However, all it does is govern your ability to avoid being detected by enemies. And obviously, if you get detected by even one, you lose it. Awareness. This is governed by your wisdom. Awareness governs the ability of a character to spot objects or enemies hidden by stealth. If a successful check of this is made against a the stealth skill of an enemy or the DC of a mine, the enemy or object is noticed and immediately becomes visible. Awareness is always active. So this is a passive ability. Everybody has this. However, if your awareness is too low, you can't see things in the environment that would be hidden or camouflaged from you. You require a character that has high awareness at all times if you want to see everything that you're going to find in the game. If you don't have one, you may find yourself triggering traps and explosives that you had no clue were even there, and it's because you didn't have somebody with a high enough awareness to actually be able to check for this. Persuade. This is related to your charisma. Only the main character can select this skill during level up. Persuade options appear in dialogue when interesting or sensitive information is available that a character might otherwise be reluctant to reveal. When selected, rank in this skill is compared to how extreme the request is, difficulty classes being low, medium, or high relative to player level. A guard might easily agree to increase a bounty, but convincing him to leave his post would be much harder. A lot of the funnier, cooler, and more interesting things that you can see happen in this game, you need persuasion to trigger. Now, unfortunately, this is a cross-class skill, but you'll notice that I kind of have a 2-point cost in it. My charisma, I think, needs to be 16 or more to reduce the point cost. But this is very invaluable because sometimes you need this to get better rewards, or you need this just to not be forced to engage in specific conflicts. Repair skill. Repair allows characters to fix disabled mechanical devices such as droids using disposable packages of parts. Those are called repair kits. The number of part kits required increases with the difficulty of the repair. This skill reduces the number of parts required by 1 to a minimum of 1 for every 4 points total, including your score modifiers. It also modifies the amount of vitality points recovered when party member droids use repair kits, advanced repair kits, and construction kits on themselves to repair combat damage. So, repair parts are definitely something you will find in this game, and they're different from repair kits. Parts are just spare extra parts that you need to use to put into droids, security turrets, or other things that require them in order to function and have been damaged from either years of disrepair or combat. Every droid character that you get needs high repair. If they don't have a high repair stat, you will have problems, because they won't be able to regenerate a lot of health by healing themselves with repair kits, advanced repair kits, or construction kits. So every droid character you have should have this skill as one of their absolute top priorities. Period. Straight up. At least one human character, or rather organic character, as not all of our characters are human, that we will be collecting, should have a relatively high repair skill. Or, if you wanted to, you could simply switch to a droid with high repair skill and let the droid do the fixing for you. But this is required for a lot of unique interactions in the game. Security. Security is used to access electronic locking devices. Once a character invests points in this, it becomes one of the default options on targeted doors and containers. Security spikes can grant a bonus to the skill, and any in the inventory will also appear as a default option on targeted doors and containers. Characters with no points invested cannot attempt to use this skill. So, security basically is use this to unlock containers. Use this to unlock doors that are locked. You need a high enough security level to do this. You can also use security, if I recall correctly, to bypass certain computer security systems. But computer use, I believe, handles that in this game. I think KOTOR 2 operates on a slightly different system, but I don't remember clearly. Treat injury. This is basically going to do exactly what it tells you to do on the tin, and it is important. Treat injury improves the amount of damage healed when a med pack is used, adding the modified rank to the number of vitality points healed. Advanced med packs and life support packs apply multipliers to the user's skill, increasing the amount healed again. So, like, this is basically repair for organic creatures. Treat injury can be used for certain skill checks in conversation. Predominantly, though, you need a high treat injury skill if you are going to be able to mend your wounds effectively using a med pack. Every biological character should probably have at least a few points in this. Either that, or you should always have a designated medic with a high treat injury walking around mending your teammates. Personally, I tend to just make sure that everybody has a high enough skill cost to use this. Or skill level to use this, to use medkits for themselves reliably to an extent. So, what you see here is the skill cap. This is going to unlock and increase every time you level up. You can push this to its limit and keep it at its new limits as you level up if you want. But you may not get the number of skill points needed to constantly do that and keep everything else high. Remember this and consider it well when you try to do stuff like this. Skill caps, by the way, with 2 point per investment costs, you're always only ever going to be able to level that up half as much. Excuse me. I'm going to take awareness, persuasion, computer use, and treat injury. Now we're going to go into feats. Some feats allow you to use special items such as heavy armor or implants. Others modify saving throws and skill checks during the game. Some feats such as power attack are used during combat. Check the description for these skills and details on each feat. You've been granted the following feats this level. Light and medium armor proficiency. Flurry. Implant level 1. Rapid shot. Weapon proficiencies in blaster pistols, rifles, and regular melee weapons. Okay, you are allowed 1 feat at the base in order to be able to decide how you are going to behave. All of these different feats are in basically grades. C, B, A, or BAS, if you want to use the S ranking system that a lot of video games use nowadays. 2-weapon fighting, improved 2-weapon fighting, master 2-weapon fighting. So, as you can see, there's a huge list of feats. I'm going to touch all of them very lightly so that I don't spend a billion years talking about feats. Simply put, though, feats are required for playstyle. They're very heavily influencing in how you will build a character. That is just a fact of how feats work. So the feats you want You don't always want to just choose to get another feat because another character has it. The feats that you are going to want to prioritize are going to be the ones that work with this character. Two-weapon fighting. This feat reduces attack penalties of characters wielding double-bladed weapons or two weapons, one in each hand. Normal penalties of -6 main hand and -10 offhand are reduced by 0.4. This brings you to a total of -6, -6. Use of a balanced weapon in the offhand further reduces this by 2.0 to -4, -6. So, if you want to dual wield, that is entirely an option. However, dual wielding in this game is actually problematic until you get all three versions of this feat. And here's why. Your attack reduction for your modifier doesn't go away. But Master two-weapon fighting will basically remove it. Practically completely. Always use a balanced weapon in your offhand, and you can remove basically the entire problem. If you don't, you're going to wish you had. So, armor proficiency. This works the same way it would in Dungeons & Dragons. You can use lightweight, medium, and heavy armors in the game if you have the proficiency for them. If you don't, you cannot equip this. So, I can't wear heavy armor unless I get heavy armor proficiency. Since I'm going for a Sentinel, medium armor is pretty much where I want to be anyway. That doesn't matter to me. Caution. Adds a point to demolitions and stealth skills. Adds 2 points to demolitions and stealth. Replaces +1 bonus given by caution. Adds 3 points. Replaces +2 by improved caution. So, what this is, and a lot of people may be very quickly inclined to just disregard caution altogether. This is what I like to call a training feat. Now, I call this a training feat. I stole that term from one of my dearest friends, Troy. Troy, if you end up watching this stream, buddy, you know I never forgot your lessons. Caution is a training feat because it allows you to get bonus points or even get a level of points into specific stats. There are several feats like it, including empathy, gearhead, not conditioning. Nope, not implants either. Yeah, and even toughness is like that to an extent. But we'll talk about toughness when we get to it. But what these feats do, you'll notice. Repair, security, and computer use bonuses. +1 bonus to all saving throws, reflecting character's excellent physical conditioning. So this is basically if you're getting your physical butt handed to you, you can get these skills and give yourself a little bit of an enhancement so that you've got a +1 replaced by a +2 replaced by a +3 to resist physical debilitation. But gearhead, empathy, and caution give you bonuses to a lot of different skills. You can use these bonuses to help push your skill level higher quicker with less investment. This is useful because it means you can decide, if you can do long-term planning, where some of your skills are going to go later. So that's very important. Critical strike, flurry, power attack. These are 3 different methods you can use to attack your opponent. Okay? Each one has negatives, however. For instance, critical strike reduces your defense by 5. Relying on critical strike doubles your critical hit chance so that you can crit on a 19 and a 20 as opposed to just a 20 out of a 20-sided die roll. But if you notice, all 3 of these reduce your defense. So using Critical Strike reduces your defense and makes it harder for you to hit your target. Flurry also reduces your defense, but if you look at the way Flurry is functioning, -4 when using this for 3 seconds afterwards. However, you also suffer -4 penalty to all attacks. -2 to defense and a -2 penalty to all attacks. -1 to defense and only -1 to attacks. So this is one where the penalty is actually reduced the higher grade the skill. That's very, very important because your defense is how you avoid getting yourself smashed to pieces. If you don't want to die, you need your defense rating to be high. Power attack. +5 damage to next attack, but a -3 to hit. Used to quickly dispatch groups of easy-to-hit opponents. So even the game is actually trying to warn you here. The accuracy reduction is going to fuck you up if you don't use this wisely. It's always going to impart that -3 to hit, but the damage bonus you get is going to be better. And the further in the game you go, the weaker this penalty is going to be on your attack patterns. Next is conditioning. Again, this is for physical saving throws. This buffs your constitution saving throws. That's useful. Implants. Allowing you to use level 1 cybernetic implants purchased throughout the galaxy and have a variety of effects. In KOTOR 2, you don't actually need an implant feat in order to use the implants. Anybody can just install them. In this game, you require more of these, but because we're a scout, we got this for free. Normally you don't get this for free. If you started out with it with the other 2 classes, you would actually have to buy it with a feat point here. Power Blast, Rapid Shot, Sniper Shot. These are the exact same thing as your Flurry, your Power Attack, and your Critical Strike, but for ranged weapons. These allow us to use standard blaster weapons. This allows you to use melee weapons. If you take these skills, you will get +1 bonuses to your accuracy with these to make it a little bit easier for you to hit a target. Do not underestimate the value of that skill. Dueling. This adds +1 to attack and +1 to defense due to the efficiency of this form in combat when engaging enemies, applying both to ranged and melee weapons. If you just want to use a one-handed weapon, be it a blaster pistol or a sword, this is the skill that you take. Because as you upgrade it, it will improve your defense rating by up to +3 and your attack hit chance by up to +3. Toughness. Grants you 1 extra vitality point every time you level up. It's retroactive for all levels previously gained. If you start to feel like you're dying really, 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 really quickly, the first level of toughness you want. Level 2, you're very resistant, and this subtracts 2 points from any damage suffered. You also retain your vitality point bonus granted by the first stage of toughness. So this gives you a permanent -2 to all damage suffered. A permanent reduction of damage. Toughness is a very good skill, and so is upgrading it. You're further fortified against damage, gaining an additional vitality point at every level up, retroactive for all points gained, in addition to the first point, and a 2-point damage and you get the 2-point resistance to damage granted by your improved toughness. So this doubles the amount of health you gain just by leveling up, and allows you to keep this permanent 2-point damage reduction. But it's only to physical damage, and there is elemental damage in this game. You can hit by lightning, fire, ice, all kinds of shit. Alright, now that I've explained feats, you're going to get a feat point every few levels. You want to try and plan out how the hell you're going to use these, okay? And you want to use them wisely. I think what I am going to do is I am actually going to take weapon focus to get a little bit extra accuracy, and then my next one I'm going to take toughness in order to improve my health every time I level up. I like to use that name. Well, go away.
We've been ambushed by a Sith battle fleet. The Endar Spire is under attack. Hurry up, we don't have much time. I'm Trask Ulgo, ensign with the Republic fleet. I'm your bunkmate here on the Endar Spire. We work opposite shifts. I guess that's why you haven't seen me before. Now hurry up. We have to find Bastille. We have to make sure she makes it off the ship alive. Bastille is the commanding officer on the Endar Spire. Well, not an officer, really. But she's the one in charge of this mission. One of our primary duties is to guarantee her survival in the event of an enemy attack. You swore an oath just like everyone else on this mission. Now it's time to make good on that oath. I heard what everyone's saying about you. You've explored the farthest reaches of the galaxy. You visited planets I've never even heard of. People with your skills and abilities are hard to find. It's no wonder the Republic recruited you for this mission. But now's the time to prove yourself. I know you're a scout and not a soldier. But Bastille needs all troops at her side during this attack.
So, the way this game works is your character can actually give a bunch of different statements about that help define their personality. You can be good, evil, sometimes you can even be neutral.
So hurry up and grab your gear. You need to suit up so we can get out of here.
You can move the mouse to the edges of the screen to rotate the camera. Alternately, moving the mouse while holding down the right mouse button will rotate the camera as well. To move towards the footlocker, hold down the right mouse button and face the camera towards it. Then hold down the left mouse button as well to cause the character to run forward. You can left-click on an object to select it. Once the footlocker is selected, left-click on it again to perform the default action and open.
Now we're not naked.
Okay, let's move out. We should stick together. You'll have more success with a party than on your own. Because of the attack, this room is in lockdown. But don't worry, I've got the override codes. You'll have to use me to unlock the door.
You always control the leader of the party. You can switch who is the party leader by left-clicking on their portrait in the lower left corner of the screen. Left-click my portrait now to switch me to the party leader, then use me to open the door. Left-click to target the door, then left-click it again with the mouse to open.
Now that the door's open, you better take the lead again.
Okay.
This is KOTOR. The Sith are threatening to overrun our position. We can't hold out long against their firepower. All hands to the bridge.
That was Karth contacting us on our portable communicators. He's one of the Republic's best pilots. He's seen more combat than the rest of the Endar Spire's crew put together. If he says things are bad, you better believe it. We have to get to the bridge to help defend Bastille. There's a map of the Endar Spire and a copy of Karth's message in your electronic journal, just in case we get separated.
I'm sorry! This is the first time I've ever thought about this, but the dialogue this guy is using is really good to teach you what the fuck is happening, but it's incredibly bad because nobody fucking talks like this. Still, it's a hell of a lot better than just giving you a text bubble saying, hey, use this to manipulate this and work that out. I'm not gonna ask him how to use the journal. I know how to do it. You just come up here, you click the journal icon. You've received a message from KOTOR, a highly respected Republic soldier. He's ordered all hands to protect the bridge to protect Bastille. Okay.
That door's locked. I don't have the codes to open it. But switch me to the party leader so you can use my security skills to slice into the access panel and open the door.
This is how you do that. He's about to give more incredibly unnatural dialogue, by the way.
This must be the advanced boarding party for the Republic!
Nobody talks like this! So you have a standard attack, which is what we're going to use for this fight. And it's basically talking about the D&D mechanics. Shit. You may have noticed there's a little bit of fight choreography going on here with those troops, and that is because they actually did fight choreography combat animations for the game with real fencers and such to make this look dynamic. These Sith must be the advanced boarding party for the Republic! I actually wonder now if, damn, okay. I actually wonder now if the, if that shout for the Republic in the original Knights of the Old, or the original Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront 2 games is not actually a callback to that? Because, nobody fucking talks like that. Short sword, long sword, combat suit, frag grenades. Fuck yeah. Now we have armor! Haha! So that's gonna jump our AC up by 4 points. And we now have access to a long sword. I'm not going to equip a short sword in my offhand because even though it's balanced, that's gonna kill my aim. See, it's gonna drop me -7 and -1. This way, I at least have a +3 to hit. With a blaster pistol, I've only got a +1. Actually, I should check Trask's character sheet. Those are basically tutorials that I'm skipping over, by the way. Oh, yeah, he's got bonuses. What is this, 14-14? Okay, no, he's got really good to hit chance right now. Oh my god! And he killed his own teammate in the process of doing that. You might have noticed that there's a grenade symbol here. Don't mind me, I'm just ignoring blaster bolts flying over my head. Use medkit. God damn! Alright. Well, there goes that friggin' droid. Oh, and he had another grenade. How kind of him. Alright, I'm gonna head back here real quick and see if there's more loot. I am a bit of a loot goblin, and this game is very linear, so I'm just gonna recommend to everybody, be loot goblins yourselves if you can.
It's a Dark Jedi! This fight is too much for us! We better stay back! All we do is get in the way!
No shit. I fully expected her to lose that fight.
That was one of the Jedi accompanying Bastille. Damn, we could have used her help.
Too late now. I like how Trask was just basically like, yeah, how about no? Dickhead. So we can get her lightsaber, right? Ah. You'll notice we did get a vibration cell, though. Medkit. That's a lot of dudes! But look! Some of them are on our side!
Bastille is not here on the bridge. They must have retreated to the escape pod. We better head that way, too. The Sith want Bastille alive, but once she's off the ship, there's nothing stopping them from blasting the Endar Spire into galactic dust.
Trask, nobody talks like you, man. Well, they blew up half the ship. There's a backpack with a random gun in it for some frickin' reason. It's all done for the sake of tutorializing. Oh, jeez, excuse me. Oh, I got another feat immediately, okay. Screw it. I'll dump a point into toughness and get that bonus. Now I have more hit points. Now I am a little bit harder to kill.
There's something behind here. Damn, another Dark Jedi! I'll try to hold him off. You get to the escape pods. Go!
Why? Oh, he's fucking dead, man.
This is Cartho Nassian, your personal communicator. I'm tracking your position through the Endar Spire's life support systems. Bastile's escape pod is away. You're the last surviving crew member on the Endar Spire. Now, I can't wait for you much longer. You have to get to the escape pods.
Damn. 14 credits. Dude had no money. Oh,
Be careful. There's a whole squad of Sith troopers on the other side of that door. You need to find some way to thin their numbers. You could reprogram the damaged assault droid to help you, if you have enough repair parts.
so you get experience points for improving the droid. There were two ways you could have dealt with that situation, and I just showed you both of them. The third was to walk in there and throw grenades. But both of my options give you more EXP. He had an ion blaster and a prototype vibroblade. Yeah, this combat droid will fucking own those guys, by the way. Like, you don't need to
You've made it just in time.
use both of
There's
those
only one active
abilities.
escape pod left. Come on, we can hide out on the planet below.
Welcome to the stream.
I'm a soldier with the Republic, like you. We're the last two crew members left in the Endar Spire. Bastile's escape pod's already gone, so there's no reason for us to stick around here and get shot by the Sith. Now, come on. There'll be time for questions later.
You know, the man's got a point. Ooh, boy. That was almost our behinds, wasn't it? I don't know why that game bar thing keeps popping up. I apologize. I may have also skipped the intro to the game unintentionally doing that. And if that is the case, I also apologize. I did not mean to skip that glorious intro cutscene. It was very good.
Good to see you up instead of thrashing about in your sleep. You must have been having one hell of a nightmare. I was wondering if you were ever going to wake up. I'm Karth, one of the Republic soldiers from the Endar Spire. I was with you in the escape pod. Do you remember? I've been slipping in and out of consciousness for a couple of days now, so I imagine you're pretty confused about things. Try not to worry. We're safe. At least for the moment. We're in an abandoned apartment on the planet of Taris. We banged up pretty bad when our escape pod crashed, but luckily I wasn't seriously hurt. I was able to drag you away from our crash site and all the confusion, and I stumbled into this abandoned apartment. By the time the Sith arrived in the scene, we were long gone.
Lucky.
Taris is under Sith control. Their fleet is orbiting the planet. They've declared martial law, and they've imposed a planet-wide quarantine. But I've been in worse spots. I saw on your service records that you understand a remarkable number of alien languages. It's pretty rare in a Republic crew, but it should come in handy while we're stranded on a foreign world. There is no way the Republic will be able to get anyone through the Sith blockade to help us. If we're gonna find Bastille and get off this planet, we can't rely on anybody but ourselves. That smack to your head did more damage than I thought. Bastilla's a Jedi. She was with the strike team that killed Darth Revan, Malik's Sith Master. Bastilla's the key to the whole Republic war effort. The Sith must have found out that she was on the Endar Spire and set an ambush for us in this system. I believe Bastilla was on one of the escape pods that crashed down here on Taris. For the sake of the Republic war effort, we have to try and find her. Bastilla's gonna need our help. Many of Darth Malik's followers have mastered the dark side of the Force, and the Sith have already killed more than their share of Jedi in this war. I doubt anyone's specifically looking for us anymore. We're not that important, but if we're careful, we can move about the planet without attracting notice, a luxury Bastilla won't have. She's gonna have half the Sith fleet looking for her. They know how vital she is to the war effort. And Bastilla's no ordinary Jedi. She has a rare gift the Jedi call battle meditation. Bastilla's power can influence entire armies. Through the Force, Bastilla can inspire her allies with confidence and make her enemies lose their will to fight. And often that's all it takes to tip the balance in battle. But there are limits to what she can do. From what I understand of her abilities, it requires great concentration and focus to maintain her battle meditation. The attack on the Endar Spire happened so fast, she probably never even had a chance to use her power. I'm guessing she barely got out alive. And now, she's trapped here, just as we are. The whole planet is under quarantine. No ships can land or take off. So, if Bastilla's gonna escape Taris, she's gonna need our help. And we'll probably need hers. While you were out, I did some scouting around. There are reports of a couple escape pods crashing down into the Undercity. It's probably a good place to start. But the Undercity's a dangerous place. We don't want to go there unprepared, and it won't do Bastilla any good if we go and get ourselves killed. I'll tell you whatever I can, though I don't know how much help it'll be. Everything I know about Malik is pretty much common knowledge. He escaped the trap that killed Darth Revan, his Sith master. With Revan's death, Malik became the new Dark Lord. It's obvious that Malik's a ruthless tyrant who will crush anyone who stands in his way, just like Revan was. Experience has shown that the Sith won't stop until the Republic lies in ruins. Malik and his Sith don't respect anything except raw, brutal power. It's hard to imagine how someone who used to be a Jedi could become such a monster. Malik and Revan were once both part of the Jedi Order, but they were young and headstrong, and against the wishes of the Council, they went to battle the Mandalorians on the Outer Rim. Something happened out there. Something corrupted them and drew them over to the dark side. Or maybe there was something rotten inside them all along. I don't know. They formed an army of ex-Republic soldiers and Jedi who'd fallen to the dark side, with Revan at their head, until Revan was killed by Bastilla's Jedi strike team. But even that didn't slow the Sith down. Malik just stepped in and assumed Revan's role. He took control of the Sith Armada and resumed the bloody conquest of the Outer Worlds. Well, I hope you're right, but the Republic hasn't been able to stop them so far, even with the support of the Jedi Council. I think Bastilla may be the galaxy's last hope. Taris was once a magnificent planet-wide metropolis of towering skyscrapers. That was a long time ago. The upper city, where the rich citizens live, is still but farther down things have degenerated. The lower city is nothing but a slum overrun by swoop bike gangs, waging a never-ending war for control. And the undercity is, well, it's even worse. The lowest level of Taris is a wasteland overrun by raccoons, mindless, diseased mutants that attack on sight. I've already entered all this info into your datapad journal. I understand why you want to know more about me. I kind of get the feeling we'll be spending a lot of time together over the next while. But this isn't really the best time for long introductions. We should stay focused on the task at hand. There'll be a time for that later. Good idea. We can use this abandoned apartment as a base. We can probably get some equipment and supplies here in the upper city. Just remember to keep a low profile. I've heard some grim stories about the Dark Jedi interrogation techniques. They say the Force can do terrible things to a mind. It can wipe away your memories and destroy your very identity. But I figure if we don't do anything stupid, we should be okay. I mean, after all, they're looking for Bastilla, not a couple of grunts like us. All right, soldier, let's move out.
So some of what he said was very natural, but the rest was just very unnatural. So, workbenches. Let's go ahead and talk about workbenches real quick. This is where you will go to upgrade your various weapons, armor, equipment, and items. Attaching a vibration cell will increase this weapon's physical damage. This allows this sword to be more powerful. As you saw, you can do the same thing with lightsabers, blasters, and armor.
Right, you alien scum. Everybody get up against the wall. This is a raid.
If anybody's wondering why he says alien scum, the Sith are very racist. They've always been very racist. They will take in aliens of strong power, as you see with Sith like Darth Maul in the films, but a lot of humans tend to get very xenophobic. In fact, a number of aliens that become Sith tend to become pretty xenophobic to anything that's not them. So he's gonna move the corpses of those Sith so that they look like they died elsewhere. I really need to be careful with throwing frag grenades around like that. I almost killed that Doros. Oh, I got a 3rd level up already. Holy crap. I'm gonna up my persuasion a little bit. I'm gonna take empathy. Okay, what has he got? He has very high dexterity. Alright. So ion blasters are really good because they actually shoot right through shields and they deal heavy damage to droids. Or no, they just deal heavy damage to droids. They don't go through shields, excuse me. Alright, so I will actually show you what happens when you equip Karth with a blaster and then give him another one. Oh, wow! He actually has really good... Okay, no, yeah, I'll just let him stay that way. Never mind. Forget I said anything.
On it.
What?
Damn!
Really? I think he missed. Twice now. 3 times. 4.
Who are you? What are you doing in here? That's no excuse. You can't just go around barging into people's apartments because you're curious. But at least you're more polite than that pig Holden. Just one of Darvik's men who can't keep his hands to himself. But all he got for his trouble was a nasty scar from my vibroblade. Too bad I'm the one still paying the price. I don't want to talk about it. I'm in enough trouble already. Besides, I don't know if I can trust you. Well, I suppose you seem like an all-right sort. When I cut Holden, it made him back off, but it also embarrassed him in front of his friends. Holden's a spiteful little hut slug. He went and put out a bounty on my head for what I did. That's why I'm hiding out here. I doubt it. Holden is one of Darvik's men. When you work for the local crime lord, the authorities tend to turn a blind eye. I'm afraid this is between me and Holden now. Could try, I guess. He usually hangs out at the cantina in the lower city. It probably won't do any good. Holden's used to getting his own way. That's one of the fringe benefits of being a goon for Darvik. Working for the local crime lord lets you get away with things. Still, I appreciate the offer. Goodbye and good luck.
You can't just go barging into someone's home. I didn't just barge into your home, by the way. I broke in here. I also just stole her shit. Ah, it's a Twi'lek. You may very quickly realize when the aliens are speaking another language, they're basically repeating the same pre-recorded lines. This is because I think they didn't actually get all of the alien languages from Lucas that supposedly existed in this universe and had them translated. Honestly, that's a lot of extra work, and I don't fault them for that. A radiant aura particle mesh that absorbs blaster bolts.
It
does, but it's less effective.
Jodo jidbungarantang ta kumjus tak miki grabulmogo kachichu ita botunga tolbabank wale oganda naru chuchut mogesha ponka bolawana chikne mule slimo podadara nanga kumbist mule rabes.
And I can tell you from experience that they aren't any good at all against a simple vibroblade. That's why the Republic has been training soldiers in hand-to-hand and melee combat.
Really? You mean like me? The Chani use shields like this.
Tolbabank wale oganda naru chuchut mogesha ponka bolawana chikne chi gratu loda pograshi onion kompa chintono muchuba loda dita kun ita patisa batua kacha tutonga bagrasha kon tichako chuptolpa da pongwale kanduna gugu chuchut kavadum kupelio botenya.
Trust me, there are certain blasters that already do that. And we'll be finding them. They're called disruptors. I run a little shop here in this old building, selling basic equipment to the illegal aliens renting out these apartments. Are illegal aliens living here? By law, most aliens aren't allowed to have a residence in the upper city of Taris. They allow a few of us Twi'leks up here, but for the most part, it's humans only. But no self-respecting upper city human would want to live in apartments in this town. So the landlord has been renting out the apartments illegally to aliens. Better than letting them sit empty, I guess. Otherwise you get squatters and people hiding out from the authorities living in the abandoned apartments. And they don't pay rent. So this guy actually is our first vendor in the game. We can buy med packs, computer spikes, repair parts. He's even got a nice array of armors. Medium armor, light armor, medium. He's got a vibro blade here. Stun baton, which... The only thing good about a stun baton is its stun chance. You will never, ever, 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 ever see me use this. and it's because of this right here. You can upgrade it to do more damage, but not by very much. And even with the highest of upgrade material tiers, you will still not see this thing perform very well. And for a 1 in 4 stun chance with a weak spell save DC, this is ass. Longsword, quarterstaff. Well, he's got an actual vibro sword. That I might want to buy. Ion blaster, sonic pistol. So the interesting thing about that conversation is he brings up energy shields. Energy shields are a special thing that you attach to the armbands on your soldiers, usually around the forearm to upper arm area. And he sells a lot more than just those. But the thing about these weapons is that, or these shields, is that these shields, this deflects energy and electrical damage up to 20 points. That's it. Has a 200-second duration, so you need to use it right before you need it, not just whenever you want. And it has a limited number of uses before it burns out completely. So, let me make this very clear. He wants a lot of money for something that's very useful, but only so much in how very useful it is. Yeah, the game basically makes the short swords worthless. So they're not worth selling, but they're also not worth keeping. So I just sell them. Now, different blasters do different forms of damage. For instance, this is an ion blaster. It'll rip right through shields. You'll also notice that even though it does very weak base damage to organics, if it shoots anything that's classed as a droid, it's going to deal heavy damage. Then we have sonic weapons. Sonic weapons are pretty nasty tools. They deal attribute damage to your dexterity. They're pretty goddamn obnoxious weapons if you use them correctly. But not everything is vulnerable to sonic. Standard blaster pistols are decent weapons, and he sells these for a decent price. You find these things by the dozen. You really don't need to buy any from him ever. You should have plenty of blaster pistols. The light repeating blaster you don't want to buy. Not right now. We'll be getting a character later that helps with that. And then he sells a host of grenades. Poison grenade, sonic grenade, concussion grenade, and of course, frag grenades. He has an infinite amount of frag grenades. He only has a couple of the other types. Sound dampening stealth unit. So this is a stealth unit that gives you bonuses. This is basically a belt that gives you stealth bonuses. Stealth field generator. You can buy this to actually be able to cloak. Battle stimulant, which gives you a huge amount of bonuses. And then as you can see, he has a host of minor mines. He has basically one of every basic mine. Plasma is heat damage. Gas poisons targets. Frags obviously detonate. Flash is just a stun. All of these can be helpful. The prices that he's selling them for right now, we just don't want to buy it. He's not going to give us really any decent resale value on anything but this blaster rifle, which I'm going to hold on to for a bit. Okay. I want the repair parts in the computer spike, but I can't afford them.
Hodor, Tunirama na praka donko searcha chupapanki.
Okay. It's funny how you don't get dark side points for that, but you will get dark side points for a lot of other dumb shit you can do. A lot of these people are vagrants or aliens that are on the run. Well, you said nothing of value, but you had a computer spike, which implies you were probably a hacker. Alright, so we are at the start of Knights of the Old Republic. They say Revan's been killed. We've had really weird dream visions. We had a really hilarious tutorial because nobody talks like that. And yeah, it's just kind of been hilarious so far. But it hasn't been bad. Like this is actually pretty good. Pretty good stuff for a game opening.
Hey there, watch where you're walking.
We just clean these floors.
My name's Kadir. I'm the janitor for this building. You must be the new tenant here, right? Never thought they'd rent that abandoned apartment. You look like an off-worlder. What happened? You get stuck here because of the quarantine? Can't see any other reason someone would want to rent that old apartment. Don't know how much I can tell you, but seeing as how you're new here, I guess I can try and help you out. Decent enough place to live, I guess, except for the lower levels. That's where the swoop gangs hang out. Just stay in Upper City and you'll be fine. You also might want to check out the cantina. I used to go there when I was younger. A good place to get a drink and find out what's going on in Upper City. Just keep following the apartment complex ring until you come to the elevator. It'll take you out to the upper streets there. And from there, just head south a ways. You can't miss it. Don't know how much Well, the best place to go is probably Kebley Yurt's store. She's right across from the cantina, so you can stop in for a drink if you get thirsty while you're shopping. Just keep following the apartment complex ring until you come to the elevator. It'll take you out to the upper streets there. And from there, just head south a ways. You can't miss it.
His dialogue goes in circles.
Not much of an issue for me, you know. I ain't never left Taris, and they ain't never gonna. A lot of other folks are sure riled up about it, but I don't really know much about it. I prefer to keep to myself mostly. But there's plenty of people at the cantina who'll be more than happy to tell you what they think about the Sith and their quarantine. I should get...
And this is where I killed those Sith. Sith are ice holes.
Ready?
Yes?
All right, let's head to the upper city. Oh god, the rat ghouls. Oh. Those things are disgusting. And they're really obnoxious enemies. Oh yeah, we'll be fighting those later, spoilers.
Yes, what's on your mind? Me? Well, I've been a star pilot for the Republic for years. Seen more than my share of wars. I fought in the Mandalorian Wars before all this started. But with all that, I've never experienced anything like the slaughter these Sith animals can unleash. Not even the Mandalorians were that senseless. My homeworld was one of the first planets to fall to Malak's fleet. The Sith bombed it into submission, and there wasn't a damn thing our Republic forces could do to stop them. I'm just a soldier. I go where the fleet admirals tell me to. I follow my orders and I do my duty. It's just... doesn't seem right that doing that means I failed. I didn't. Yeah, no, that's not what I mean. I'm sorry, I'm not making much sense. You probably mean well with your questions. I'm just not accustomed to talking about my past very much. At all, actually. I'm more used to taking action, keeping my mind focused on the business at hand. So let's just do that. If you have more questions, ask them later.
All right.
Davik says you missed your last payment.
Here, I've got 50 credits, a down payment. That should buy me some time, right?
Sorry, you're out of time. Now it's all or nothing. Davik can't have people not paying his debts.
But I don't have that much. How can I give you credits I don't have? No! Help! Somebody help! They're going to kill me!
I know we have to be careful about drawing attention to ourselves, but are we gonna just let them drag this guy off?
Hold on a second. Looks like we got ourselves a witness here.
Is that thunder outside? Shit.
Thank you.
Damn.
I owe you my life. Those bounty hunters are going to take me away and kill me. My life warned me not to take a loan from Davik. Now I can't pay him back. It's not good to owe a crime lord money. He'll just keep sending more bounty hunters after me till I'm dead. You already helped me by saving me from those bounty hunters, so unless you have a spare 100 credits to give me so I can pay off Davik, there's nothing else you can do. You're giving me 100 credits? Just like that?
You're giving him 100 credits? Generous.
Now I can pay off Davik. You've saved my life. Thank you. I'd better take these credits to him right away.
I admit, in real life, I try to be as generous as possible to people who are down on their luck. I also just got 100 credits from those 2 bounty hunters. So, I kind of broke even. But realistically, I'm probably going to be killing Davik here in a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean around the time I leave this planet.
Can't you see I'm busy with my duties? Go talk to Zelka if you need something.
You're an ass.
I see from your appearance that you're an off-worlder. Still, you're welcome here. I'll not have it said that Zelka Foreign refused to help somebody just because they weren't a citizen of Taris. Do you require healing or medical supplies? I can treat almost any injury or ailment right here at the medical facility. Except the rat goop disease, of course. terrible affliction has plagued Taris for many generations. It is spread by the Rakghouls, horrible monsters that live in the Undercity below Taris's great skyscrapers. Prolonged exposure to the Undercity breeds the disease, and those infected eventually mutate into Rakghouls themselves, becoming mindless beasts that feed on the flesh of others. There is no antidote for the disease, though I heard the Republic scientists at the military base here on Taris were close to perfecting a cure. Then the Sith arrived. They overran the military base, and now they refuse to allow anyone access to the laboratories inside. The Sith are keeping all the serum for the patrols they send into the Undercity. If I could just get my hands on a sample of that serum, the Rakghoul disease could be wiped from the face of Taris forever. I don't see how that's going to happen. I don't see how anyone could get their hands on that serum. The military base is crawling with Sith guards. Breaking in there would be a suicide mission. I suppose.
No, it wouldn't. It would just mean an act of violence.
Sample of the serum on them, if they hadn't already used it because of a Rakghoul infection. But I doubt a patrol would just hand the serum over. And nobody is stupid enough to attack one of the Sith patrols, even in the Undercity. Please, I only mentioned the serum because you asked. I don't actually expect anyone to get me the serum. It will just take me a moment.
There we go.
Welcome back. Of course.
Alright, so we can see here he sells advanced med packs for 80 credits per. He sells an infinite supply of antidote kits. These are really useful for curing poison. Poison is not a particularly big threat in this game, although it can be a problem when it's stacked on top of other damage. Bio antidote package. That grants you full immunity to poison. This grants you immunity to shit that would fuck with your head. If I hit level 4, I might just get implant level 2 right away. We'll see. I'm never gonna sell anything. Karth, do you have enough security to break that door down?
On it. It's open.
Yes, you do. This is where you'll learn to like this guy.
There. That door is for employees only. You recognize these soldiers? But how? Unless you're a friend of the Republic. I guess I'd better tell you what's going on. I only hope the Sith don't find out what I've done. Since the space battle overhead, people have been secretly bringing in these Republic soldiers who crash-landed on the planet. I had to take them in. What choice did I have? Their injuries are terrible. Most won't survive. But at least I can make their last days more comfortable. And at least here, they're hidden away from the Sith.
Well, for that you have my thanks. It's good to know that at least some of these men ended up in compassionate hands.
I hate to imagine what the Sith would do if they discovered these soldiers here. But since their initial questioning, the Sith have not returned, so it may be my fears are unfounded. I'm afraid there's nothing more anyone can do for these soldiers. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should return to the front in case anyone comes in needing medical attention.
He is a good man helping these people out of the kindness of his heart.
You there. Wait a minute. Zelka isn't the only one who wants to get his hands on the Rakghoul serum. Davik Kang will pay you 10 times what Zelka can if you can get the cure. Davik's interested in anything that can turn a profit. He could make a fortune selling the serum to anyone infected with the disease. Not like Zelka, who practically give it away. Look, Zelka can't afford to pay me much. If you sell the serum to Davik, I could probably get a nice finder's fee for directing you to him. Helping people is all well and good, but you have to help yourself first, right? I'm telling you, Davik will pay big credits for the cure.
And then only the rich could afford the cure. Just let the poor suffer, right?
If you find the Rakghoul serum, just take it to Zax in the lower city bounty office. He works for Davik.
So, on one hand, you can be a very malicious and selfish bastard. And intentionally just sort of let those people rot who are suffering from that cure and badly need assistance. Or you could be a decent human being and just give it to the medical expert over there with Selka, and he'll make sure it gets distributed amongst the populace as needed. I think I know who I want to give that to. And I don't think I want to give it to Davik.
Hello there. I haven't seen you in my shop before. Allow me to... You looking to buy some supplies? My shop's the largest one in all of Upper Taris. Best selection on the planet.
Yeah.
Whatever you need, I've got. Well, mostly.
Mostly? What do you mean by that?
The Sith confiscated all.
Yeah, money, or let people suffer from a disease that transmogrifies them into ravenous mutant monsters. Sure. I think I'll stick with making sure that that disease ceases to exist.
Just so you know, the prices on the items are final. No bargaining here. This isn't a swap meet, okay? I only deal in top-notch stuff.
Alright, so she'll sell us standard med packs for 40 credits a pop. She'll also sell us some security spikes, which is really good stuff. These are really, really useful because they can actually buff your security score and let you unlock doors for cheap on having this. You know, you'll have the security skill drastically reduced. I think it ups your skill by +5. Bonadin heavy alloy suit. This is a pretty good armor suit. She actually sells some pretty nice stuff. Military heavy combat suit, light battle armor. She's got vibro blades, long swords, vibro swords, double bladed swords. She's even got an Chani ritual brand. Shit. That's not a bad weapon. I wanted to do a double-bladed lightsaber build, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do it or not. Oh, the Sith sniper rifle! So this thing is actually pretty nasty, but it's not worth 1,500 credits. She's got some nice grenade selections. I don't really use that many grenades, though. I am going to buy that permacrete detonator for reasons. Yeah, sure you are, pal. You're at the cantina getting drunk on official Sith business.
Don't you just love watching the Kazakh players?
What do you want? Have you come here just to bother me, or do you... If you ever wish...
So those characters are NPCs for Pazak.
Hello there, youngster. You interested in just fit? No, of course.
No, I don't want your deck. Pazak is a nice little minigame in here, but
Hi there.
I'm not interested in it.
I haven't seen you around before. Of course, they don't give us Sith officers from the military base much time off. I'm off duty right now, so I'm not in uniform. My name is Sana, junior officer, first class with the Sith Occupation Force. I'm actually a little surprised you're talking to me at all. Most of the people here on Taris can't stand us Sith. It can make this job pretty lonely. That's true, but people don't appreciate what we've done for them. We could have slapped a curfew on this whole planet, but we didn't. You know, it's like everyone on this backwater planet is in a permanent bad mood. Don't they know we have to make the best of things? Exactly, it's all about attitude. I didn't ask to be assigned to this backwater planet, but I try to make the best of it. It's pretty easy to get depressed on an assignment like this, but we do what we can to keep our spirits up. That's true. It's nice to meet someone who understands what I'm going through. It's good to talk about this stuff.
God
It's pretty
damn.
raining at the military base. I have to
That's
get
some
going
heavy
soon.
duty
I've got
thunder.
a shift at the military base.
And it's still not
But
raining
some of us
yet.
junior Sith officers are having a party tonight to blow off some steam. I'd really like to see you again. Why don't you drop by the party? I'll show you where it is on your map. Don't be late. We're starting right after our shift's end. Most of us won't even be going back to the base to lock up our uniforms. I look forward to seeing you there.
Really now? That's a side quest I've never actually picked up before. And I've played through this game twice.
We couldn't get arena tickets for this match. Now we'll have to watch the duel on the view screen.
Who cares? It's Duncan and Gerlon fighting. It's not like we're gonna miss anything good.
Shh, they're about to start, so quit complaining and just watch the view screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I draw your attention to the dueling ring. Here, two combatants will battle for your viewing and gambling enjoyment. Now, I hope all your bets are down because we're ready to roll. In this corner, I give you Gerlon Two Finger. And over here, looking to climb the ranks yet again, is the ever-persistent Deadeye Duncan. And to nobody's great surprise, Deadeye is down again. Don't worry, folks. He's just unconscious. As usual, our medics will have him up and about in a bit. Well, that was quick, wasn't it? So I give you the winner, Gerlon Two Fingers.
I gotta look too happy about that victory. So, dueling is another optional side quest you can do around here if you want. It's meh.
Vibroblades and blasters, and nobody ever dies. How come I get the feeling you're trying to take us for a ride?
Come here for a ball.
This is for the bet.
So we're gonna duel here for a little bit. It's largely just so I can get some extra cash.
To the center ring, we have a very special presentation in store for you. You've seen him lose night after night after night, but this time he's after fresh meat. In this corner, I give you Deadeye Duncan, and in the other corner, a relative newcomer to the Taris dueling scene, emerging from the shadows with no history, no past, and no name, the mysterious stranger.